like whenever you had like something within like
apartments and condominiums and stuff like that. Over here, we thought that to the north of Walnut Street should be like the business areas next to that parking garage that's already built. They've already proposed that 2 buildings should be there, so we thought that'd be a great idea. Can't forget about the gateway. He's got these 2 buildings right here. He thought that the 2 tall buildings should be here because then we can create like a gateway between campus and downtown.
Grocery or like small shops all along under the building. Most of them can't really design it, but whoever gets the building.
No, I mean like at the end of the bridge, like.
You talking about like down here?
No, I'm talking about the other end.
This
like
end over
there's
here.
Nothing
well, this
on
like
side.
you can kind of see like this was kind of denoting like another level. So when this comes around, you know, you can walk around these buildings and there'll be insets and connections between the buildings on this second level, kind of like the river walk we were talking about. It's not really shown really well here, but the bridge would end in this big space here, but then it would keep going around the buildings on the second.
So the bridge is in itself more structure. Starting on this point, you leave the cultural center here, and you come to this part here. And this is actually a little bit of like a mixed-use office. There's probably a little bit of restaurant, and there's a boat.
I don't know. You know, it's not gonna be just like a lot. It's gonna be what we do now. Or that why we say
You did.
business area where there's obviously going to be like upper residential.
And this is low.
Yeah,
Low
like that's kind of like
end
middle
right here,
residential, and then you have like the university, which is also going to be like middle to low kind of standard. So we wanted upper lower living, retail.
So once it gets to here, like it'll just it'll taper off this way, and it'll probably just be more industrial looking end point because it'll be.
Because what I'm thinking here on this, I like this progression of plane. This hierarchy is cool. If you could kind of maybe bring that down here
And do this something similar.
Yeah, I mean, where the
down.
train comes in,
Yeah.
you know, ignore that.
There's like these like lips up out of this surface to
We
where
have
you
a really
can,
terrible sketch.
where you can like look.
This is one story, all right?
We validated the space for the chase.
And then, and so, okay, so let's say, change, I'm changing my mind, let's change it here. It's like this, right?
Our building?
Yeah.
Mirror that, but yeah. This is the high point.
Oh, that's the high point?
Right?
But I thought that your stores were over here.
They are.
Second page. So basically, you cut a section.
Wait, why are there residents in the code in the view?
Yeah, they have different buildings.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the high point. This building in the background is probably how tall, that's pretty tall, isn't it?
Well, because there is a slope there down, or there's not slope.
Relief points. Yeah, but there's relief points, open vendor, open spaces, restaurant areas.
Because this, basically the bridge, like, it looks like it's, you know, at an angle, but because it flares, it's really
I'm just laying out my exterior skin building of my transportation hub, and getting it ready to be laser cut out so I can see what it'll look like in a physical model. And so this will all be cut out and be able to cover my building after it's done.
And so,
Because I was under the impression that this was like,
because that's really where I kind of.
Yeah.
like I was under the impression that this is like level with this plane and that people walk across the top of it. No.
Yeah, I was under. That's what I thought too.
No.
Oh.
No.
Yeah,
It's a building, but it's also.
Hey, Cody,
Window.
Cody, where's the sketches and stuff? You guys want these? You want anyone?
They're not ours.
Because we can't use this. We can't use this, so if you want to use it, you'll just have to hold them up at some point.
Will you continue to work as a group, or will you start to break into smaller teams to look at pieces of it, or will you all individually
I would
look
like
at
you
the
guys
overall
to
plan?
maybe from here start introducing yourself briefly, your name, that Rich is going to hear your names. Can you do that?
Sure. I'm Tanner.
I'm Gwynne.
Here? Gwynne.
Aurelie.
Brian. Got it?
Allie.
Allie.
Vera.
I'm here.
Cody.
Diane.
Say it again. What we didn't hear?
Cody. C-O-D.
Okay.
I'm Diane.
Hi, I'm Krystal.
Kolton. Hello.
Richard Fargy and
Denisa.
Patrick Fargy and our colleague, our new friends arrived. And could you introduce him?
Luis Delgastigi. Or Delgastigi. You all something about what it feels like to be around the site and some of the influences that are happening right now. If you go back 30 years, University of Pennsylvania completely turned its back on the community. It turned its back on any adjacency and wanted very much to be on its own. In a lot of ways, it was very similar to the Vatican, within the city of Rome, but it was seen as completely determining its own future, controlling its own destiny, and didn't want any linkages to the city at all. They didn't see the benefit. But as things have evolved, they've come to realize that the more that they can link themselves with the city at large and with the institutions and functions that are around the campus, that the stronger they will be and the better they will be. And those initiatives began about 10 years ago and have come to realize some very beneficial things. And the next logical step is connecting the university to the downtown area, and to do that in a very strong and proper fashion.
It's more commercial, I'd say, and then this right here, this is in the cultural center, and I kind of think it's more of a cultural area, and so my space is like high-end retail, connected with the level changes, and also include high-end retail as well as restaurants and small stores that can be used by visitors to the cultural center, as well as 13 completely separate areas. It's one space with 13 different designs that really work together. And so that's, I think, where we are now is we all have a mission to see
on it,
what we've put
and
together.
next to a park that's adjacent. We're gonna have kind of like a skywalk Broadway linear transition zone in the center, and just like visual hierarchy. This corner is gonna be kind of our central focus for the downtown area to bring in.
What does that connection, that pedestrian bridge connect to that connects it to the rest of the downtown?
There's a park existing on the other side of the river.
And we recreation center for the housing that's right where that purple trees is, right at the other side of the bridge from our site. And it's a pretty inhabited recreation center for all the residents.
And there's a lot of pedestrian movement.
There's a lot of pedestrian and bike.
When we talked to the person that was from the firm in this area, they said there's a lot of pedestrian.
I'm going to have parkings and a connection to the transportation hub. Then I'm going to have.
I wanted people to be able to now to walk it if they wanted to. Now the thing is that you're going to be hoofing it up there because each of these levels is like 60.
Little area going on in here. These, if you didn't know, there's already existing, like Penn Park is already there. So we were trying to take into consideration, like keep that there. So by our site, there's a 3-star.
But we're using, like I was talking about, the different levels, so we've kind of created a tiered system going down and working on incorporating the building into the tiers, so you have different levels of
Decided
circulation.
between 680 and 800 rooms for the hotel. Also having retail that's connecting to this bizarre kind of open passage area that's in between the office tower and the hotel, connecting those and drawing
No space. The bottom 2, maybe 3 stories is going to be, when we did mixed use, we all eventually kind of split up what we wanted, like every building to have in it. So I have,
Idea of having retail on the bottom level. This is a 2-story usable structure. Retail on this side. This side facing north would actually be open air. So you'd have only HVAC on one side. It's all be open, kind of free flow area. There'd be outdoor shops, outdoor vendors, and they're kind of along an open atrium looking down on the left below to kind of provide a visual of what's going on above and below. That connects to the tower here. And Mark, can you explain that?
Yeah, obviously we have this tower that's coming out of our bridge, and it reaches down to the water. We say that this model is 99% accurate. The 0.1% that's inaccurate is this river is actually depressed lower, so there's this much of bridge that is actually reaches down to the river.
A lot of people in there, and I've been playing around with the footprint. I mean, on this scale behind us, it was something around 120 by 120 in that range. And I'm trying to bring it more unique shape, creating unique spaces, and then of course I'm trying to get great views downtown, make it around space to watch the football game.
So I made basically kind of like 4 different buildings, and they end up meeting right at the top. And I kind of have a bigger.